All right, we're back for our final segment and looking at the convention, the Democratic convention, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Hollywood. Clint Eastwood, a lot was made of him in the chair, the empty chair, and whether or not he helped the Republicans, and we'll get to that with you in a second, Dana, because you were there. But on the Democratic side, there was Scarlett Johansson and Eva Longoria. Not to be confused with Evan Longoria, the third baseman for the Tampa Rays. But they didn't say anything.
I don't think anyone would ever confuse the two, Henry.
Well, hey, you never know. But they didn't say anything. I mean, as much as Eastwood was vilified of, pushing his agenda, I didn't hear anything coming from Scarlett Johansson or Eva Longoria that really, I don't know why they were even there. Did either of you see their speeches?
I saw part of the Longoria one, but just in passing.
What was your impression? Did she say anything?
No, it was bland. Both of these women are beautiful. They are reasonably good. They're reasonably good actresses. I enjoyed Eva Longoria's role in Desperate Housewives, but I don't think either of them has distinguished themselves in politics in any way, or done or said anything to indicate that they know anything about the issues of the day. I think they were there, as you say, for eye candy, and because Hollywood is, as a group, actors and actresses in Hollywood tend to be very heavy donors to the Democratic campaign.
Was Sean Penn there? Isn't he one of the big...
More of a lightning rod, I think.
Yeah, especially that overseas trip he did that one time, I think.
Well, Dana, tell us about you were there at the Republican convention. Tell us what your impression was of Clint Eastwood, the person, the actor.
Well, face it, we all love Clint Eastwood. We all know Make My Day and like Unforgiven was one of his westerns, Pale Rider. I'm a Clint Eastwood fan. And so when we kind of heard about, there's supposedly a special guest, and then it's like, Clint Eastwood, we're like, yes, yes, yes. We want Clint Eastwood. We were looking forward to that. And I think he did what he needed to do. Now, I think we were all expecting a cowboy hat, but oh well. Yeah, we
he seemed more like the Bridges of Madison County kind of guy here.
I know. I was just hoping he would maybe put a cowboy hat on the podium or something, or throw it out. Yeah, well, maybe hoping he'd throw something out like that out into the audience. But we were all looking forward to Clint Eastwood, and he delivered what he was there to do. That not all Hollywood are liberals
and supportive of government.
Exactly.
Like you said, politicians work for us. And we don't work for them.
Exactly. That there are some conservative actors, entertainers, entertainment industry people out there that you don't have to categorize Hollywood as all liberal, because it's not. And there are people out there that believe in the conservative values, so don't categorize us all. That there are those people that are supporting.
And he had a message.
Yeah.
His message was clear.
His message.
He's not getting the job done, fire him.
Yeah. He's an empty chair. He doesn't do what he needs to do. He did it in a humorous way. I was laughing, and I got it. And I think he did exactly what he needed to do, and he is, well, face it, he's Clint Eastwood.
Excellent. Now, Stan, before we wrap up the segment, I'm going to give you the movie that Dana did not bring up, probably the most famous movie affiliated with Clint Eastwood, and that is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I don't think there's any dispute about that, except maybe a Dirty Harry movie. But
that was a little before.
Well, that was the third of the spaghetti western.
Right, but it was the most prominent.
A fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, and then The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The three in a row, yes.
But the point I'm going to make with this is it's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's Clint Eastwood at the Republican convention. We just had the Democratic convention. I want each of you to tell me, I'm going to ask you individually, and I'll start with you, Stan. With the two conventions, if you had all the players to choose from, all the speakers, you could throw TV commentators in there. Well, let's just keep it to the speakers. The Good.
Paul Ryan.
The Bad.
Barack Obama.
The Ugly.
Joe Biden.
Dana?
The Good, I say Ann Romney. The bad, I would definitely say Barack Obama. And the ugly is definitely Joe Biden. I'd agree with that part.
Well, I would say the good would be Ann Romney and Michelle Obama. The bad would be Mr. Obama's speech. And the ugly, I agree, Joe Biden. Screaming at the audience and looking for sympathy, trying to cry but not being able to do it about the soldiers being lost. Just over the
Well,
top.
I thought there was too much sucking up, too much of an effort to portray Obama as a saint. There has been no human being since Jesus Christ who was as good as Obama was portrayed to be by Joe Biden in his speech. I mean, a spine of steel, my God.
Lasting impression or final thought, Dana? I'll give you the last word.
Well, like you were talking about, like the military. Yes, the Republicans made a mistake in the convention of not bringing up the war, the military, but don't go and start trying to then, the way Biden was doing it, it was like, you're pandering at this point. You know, it's not a legit, you know, it'd be different if you're mentioning, but he was overdoing it.
Well, it's fatuous to suggest that the Republican Party is not foursquare in support of the military. The Republican Party has always been more supportive of the military than the Democrats, at least since the time of the Vietnam War. It's Obama who wants to cut an additional $500 billion, or I'm sorry, 500 million, I guess, from the defense budget. In addition to the extensive cuts he's already imposed on the defense budget. That's the very last thing that the Republicans want to do. We maintain that one of the principal duties of any government, and particularly that of the United States, is to maintain a strong defense.
Well, I wanted to end it there, but you brought up a good point, which I want to end on here, just quickly from both of you. Obama said, I'm going to bring the troops home in 2014 from Afghanistan. And he's also announcing he wants to make these massive cuts in defense spending. He says he wants to put more on the domestic side, which is fine. But if you're going to take the troops out of Afghanistan, and the serious situation in Pakistan is, you don't know from day to day between Pakistan and India, and
don't forget Iran.
You've got Iran and Syria. Isn't that kind of a dangerous thing to be announcing, that you're going to bring the troops home and you're going to make this big cut in defense spending? What does that say to the rest of the world, Dana?
It's basically saying, I am making America weak so that we can be just like everybody else, and just, instead of being a superpower, instead of being strong, I am making America weak. Right for a takeover, right for us just assimilating with the rest of the world.
Stan, quickly.
Well, exactly right. Obama wants a United States which is weaker, less influential, far less wealthy, and internally with a weaker economy in which the population is subject to a much more controlling and intrusive government. And this is merely one of the steps he's taking to achieve that broad Marxist sort of goal.
Well, for Stan Escudero, who's obviously a big fan of Barack Obama, and for Dana Dougherty Swanson, who is a local star at the Republican National Convention in Tampa, this is Henry Frederick and Headline Surfer, and we look forward to having you see this on headlinesurfer.com or nsbnews.net or evolutionnews.net. Thank you.